I'm sad to say that I've been bullied at work, and for a long time I didn't even realise that that was what was happening. In fact, I thought that I was the one with the problem. If that sounds familiar, then this video is for you because you deserve better, and I'm going to show you how to get it. My name's Lucy, and I've spent decades in leadership roles, and now I run my own consultancy where I help teams and individuals with leadership. I've experienced workplace bullying without recognising the signs. It made me miserable, it damaged my career, and it impacted my life outside work. And honestly, for a long time, I thought I was the problem. I make these videos to help people like you. And if you're going through this right now, I want to help. I want you to know that it's not your fault and there are concrete steps that you can take. Firstly, is what you're experiencing actually bullying? Before you take any action, it's really helpful to talk things through with someone you trust. Sometimes that conversation can help you see the situation differently, and sometimes the mere fact of talking it through can be incredibly helpful. So what exactly is workplace bullying? It's not just a one-off bad day or a disagreement. It's a persistent pattern of behaviour. It's ongoing mistreatment, which can impact both your mental and your physical health. Bullying can take many forms. There's verbal abuse, such as name-calling, sarcasm, rude remarks. There's social exclusion, such as leaving you out of meetings or social events, deliberately excluding you from what's going on. There's intimidation, threats, aggressive body language, creating a hostile atmosphere. There can be work sabotage, such as undermining your work or withholding information, giving you impossible deadlines, maybe even taking credit for your work. There's also cyberbullying, such as harassment via email or spreading malicious posts on social media. Gaslighting, distortion of reality, which makes you doubt your own sanity. And of course, there's also discrimination, which is a form of bullying based on someone's identity. The key elements to look out for are persistence and power imbalance. It's not a one-off incident, and the bully usually holds some form of power. And that power can be formal, such as being more senior, or informal, such as the social status they hold. To summarise, bullying is unwanted behaviour, which is either offensive, intimidating, malicious, or insulting. It is an abuse or misuse of power that is designed to cause harm, and it's a regular pattern of behaviour. And here's something really important. Someone can be bullying even if they don't realise that their own behaviour is bullying. One person may think something isn't bullying when it is. We're all different and we all experience things differently. And one more thing I wanted to touch on is upward bullying. So bullying doesn't only have to come from the boss to a subordinate, it can come upwards from a subordinate to a boss. It can be from one employee or it can be from a group. And many people in the comments to my videos have talked about this. Examples of upward bullying would include continued disrespect, refusal to complete tasks, spreading rumours, constantly undermining someone's authority, doing things to make someone seem unskilled or unable to do their job. It can be difficult for someone in a senior role to realise that they're experiencing bullying from their staff, and it can be a symptom of wider organisational cultural issues that need addressing. So what to do about bullying if you're experiencing it? Please know that it's not your fault and you deserve to be treated with respect. And here are 4 steps that I really encourage you to take. Step 1 is to keep a detailed record. Record everything. Who said what, who did what, who was there. Take screenshots of emails or messages in WhatsApp. Document everything. And even if there weren't witnesses, still record what you experienced. So record the date, record the time, and record what was said and who said it, as full a picture as possible. And try to record it as soon as possible after the incident occurred. Often bullying will happen out of sight of other people, but don't let the fact that no one else witnessed it discourage you from making a record. The reason for this is that it provides concrete evidence and will help you to remember exactly what occurred if you need to refer to it later. This documentation could become absolutely crucial if you need to take formal action. Step 2 is to consider setting boundaries if it feels safe to do so. In some situations, if you feel safe enough to do this, a direct and calm statement can help. Saying something like, "I am not comfortable with that behaviour. Please speak to me respectfully." This can help if you feel able to do this. However, of course, please trust your instincts. If you feel that this could escalate the situation or you feel unsafe, then you don't have to follow this action. Your safety comes first, and you can also try to minimise contact with the bully as far as possible. But there's of course absolutely no shame in deciding that this isn't the course of action for you. Step 3, seek support. Don't isolate yourself. Maybe confide in trusted colleagues. Possibly they have experienced something similar and you can share your experiences with them. Talk to friends and family. External support is vital for your well-being. Maybe consider professional help. Maybe a counsellor or a therapist can help you talk through what you're experiencing. Why is this important? Well, you don't have to go through this alone. Building effective support systems are crucial for resilience, and they can also help you see the situation more clearly when you're right in the middle of it. Step 4, know your company's policy and know your rights. Check out your company's bullying and harassment policy. Most companies should have one. Understand your rights. Familiarise yourself with local labour laws regarding workplace harassment. In the UK, where I am, I would direct people to look at ACAS, which I will link to below. This gives you a roadmap for future action to help you understand what to expect and help you feel more in control. From here, you have 2 routes you can follow. Route 1 is to raise the issue informally. It's usually best to try the informal route first and talk to your manager. Informal resolution, if that's possible, is usually quicker and less stressful for everybody. If your manager is the person bullying you, then talk to somebody else. Your organisation might have guidance about who to approach in those circumstances, maybe another manager or the human resources department. If there's no policy, you can decide who to raise it with. The second route is to raise the matter formally. You can raise a grievance if you've tried to resolve things informally but it didn't work, or you can go straight to a formal route if you feel the situation is too serious to be dealt with informally. Raising a grievance is where you make a formal complaint to your employer, and hopefully your company will have a formal process for you to follow. But usually it will involve presenting the evidence that you've gathered about what happened, and there will be a process for who to do that with, whether that's your manager or your human resources department, depending on the circumstances. In my own experience as a line manager over the years, I've found that often staff are reluctant to make matters formal. They feel quite anxious about that. But I have always encouraged people to follow formal processes because then it's more transparent. There's a written record of what's going on. And let me be clear, people weren't complaining about me, but I've had situations where there have been complaints about direct reports of mine, and I found it very helpful for a formal process and a formal investigation to take place. So everybody knows what to expect, when to expect it, and what the process is and when it will be resolved. So that's just some reflections there. Now, I've had a lot of feedback to some of my videos about poor employment practices when people have raised issues of bullying. Now, what a good employer should do is to investigate properly, take evidence from both or multiple parties, depending on the situation, and not take sides, and have somebody external to the situation run that investigation. In the UK, there would be likely to be opportunities for an appeal and a whole process to follow. Like I say, I'm going to link to ACAS website, which is an excellent free resource if you are employed in the UK under UK law. Employers have a legal duty of care to their employees, including protecting them from bullying. Employers should therefore investigate any report of bullying seriously, act accordingly, and ensure that employees are protected from retaliation. I also wanted to cover a section in this video on what to do if you've already followed these steps and nothing's changed. I know that some of you may well be watching this and thinking, I've tried all that and the bullying is still going on, nothing's being done. What now? This is where things get harder, but you do still have options, and I'm going to go through those now. If actions to date haven't worked, then you can escalate. You can document that what you've done to date hasn't worked, nothing's changed, and document the effect on you and what's going on. Be specific about the impact on you, the effect on your work, the effect on your health, and the effect, whatever effect you're experiencing. You can request specific actions. Don't just report the problem, suggest solutions, possibly mediation, reassignment, clearer boundaries, regular check-ins with HR. If your employer isn't responding appropriately, then seek external support. Like I've mentioned, ACAS in the UK. Your trade union, if you're a member, you can seek support from them. Citizens Advice for advice on your legal rights. Again, I'll link to them below. And for serious cases, I would suggest seeking legal advice. So talk to an employment lawyer. And of course, protect your health. If the situation is damaging your health, then do seek health advice from a medical professional. And if nothing is working, and maybe you don't want to admit defeat, but it might be time to start making an exit plan. Try not to resign in the heat of the moment. Try to make sure that you've got a plan, and not everybody I know can just quit. And if you've decided that leaving is the right choice for you, then merely the fact of deciding that might help, and starting to look for other opportunities can make you feel like you've got some choices. Maybe line up references from people who understand your work before you decide to go. Make sure you understand your options before you decide to leave. Choosing to leave for your health when you've done it strategically and exhausted other options isn't failing. It's choosing to put yourself first, and you deserve to work somewhere that truly values you. And I wanted to touch on managers, because you are responsible for setting the tone in your workplace. If you're a manager watching this, you are on the front lines of addressing and preventing bullying. Your leadership in the workplace is vital. Here are some key things you must do. So lead by example, model good behaviour yourself. Your actions set the tone for the entire team. Implement clear policies. Make sure there's a robust anti-bullying and anti-harassment policy in the workplace, and that it's clearly understood by the whole workforce. Provide training on respectful communications and workplace standards. Create a safe reporting culture. Maintain an open door policy, and if people do raise issues and concerns with you, make sure that you act accordingly and investigate what's going on. Never dismiss or minimise a complaint, even if it seems minor. Implement appropriate consequences. Follow your policy and make changes that are required. Crucially, don't protect high performers who bully. No one should be above your code of conduct. Support the target of the bullying. Make sure they've got the support around them that they need, that they understand what the process is if they've made a complaint and when they should hear back. And what if the bully is senior leadership? Well, like I've said, nobody should be above the code of conduct. Tolerating bullying from a high performer or senior leader sends a terrible message throughout the organisation. Escalate appropriately, going more senior if you need to. Recognise the cascade effect. Managerial bullying has a ripple effect throughout the whole workplace, and it gives permission to other people to be bullies too. Use external resources if needs be, whether that's unions or labour lawyers or leadership consultants like me. I've worked with several organisations to improve workplace culture. If you're serious about creating a respectful workplace, then there's no room and no excuse for bullying. Looking back at my own experience, I wish I'd known then what I know now. I wish I'd documented some of the experiences I went through. I wish I'd spoken up sooner, and I really wish I hadn't thought it was my fault. But I'm sharing this with you now so you don't have to learn the hard way like I did. Here's what I do know now. You are not alone. You do have rights, and you deserve to work in an environment where you feel safe and respected. Let's commit to workplaces where kindness, respect, professionalism aren't just words on a page or bandied around in a policy. They are words that guide the way that we work with each other. They're the lived experience of every single person in our workplace. If this has helped you, please give it a like and subscribe for more workplace insights. I make videos about topics to help people be happy in work and happy in life, and I publish new content every Wednesday. If you feel able, share your experiences in the comments below. Let's learn from and support each other. Thank you so much for being here.